Good morning from the farmer's garden. I'm one of the farmers. I'm heading down to the garden right now. We have probably way more on our to-do list today than we will possibly get done, but we will see how that goes. So currently Brandon is working in the field that we cleared Friday. We shoved up brush piles and burned and shoved over trees and basically made an entire new garden space. So he's got the dozer out right now and he is trying to get some of the extra stumps and things shoved out of the way, and then the remainder of the brush pile is getting shoved to a different spot where it can be burned later, because hopefully today we have time to get this field picked up, some of the sticks disked up and bedded for seeds. It is supposed to rain tomorrow. We are behind on some seeds and early on some other seeds, but we're gonna take a gamble. That's all farming is anyway, is just one giant gamble. Will it grow? Will it not? Will we make money? Will we lose money? It's just a giant gamble every year. But he's currently working on that right now. So this is the area that was cleared. This was all trees just Friday, and he's got that cleared, and now there's a brush pile, and he likes to remind me that he is not the world's best dozer operator. He tends to get some dirt in our brush pile, so he'll have to smooth that back out too. I'm perfectly happy with how he runs the dozer. It clears trees, and that's the important part. But you can see there's still lots of sticks and stumps and debris and stuff in here for us to get picked up. But hopefully, at some point today we'll be putting some seeds in the ground. Right now my main job is laundry and school with the kids until it gets time for me to be able to help down here, but I wanted to kind of show you how things are starting this morning. I'll go through and check all the animals as well, as long as I'm down here, and see how all of them are doing. Goats seem pretty chill. I'll go check on the chickens. But he's just going to be shoving that around and getting us the space cleared to hopefully get some seeds in the ground today. Also on the list for today is to get the potato patch disked and planted in wheat. We are several weeks behind on planting wheat this year. The move came at exactly the wrong time as far as our winter garden went, and so that sort of took priority, and we worked on that instead of on the garden. But we're gonna give it a try anyway. Chickens all look good this morning. They look noisy. Anyways, that's where we sit right now. Hopefully we'll have some seeds to go out today, and I'll be able to show y'all that process as well. If I'm being honest, this is another reason that we are behind on our wheat planting. This is a John Deere Combine, Model 30. Brandon was able to go and pick this up this week. He's been kind of watching it for sale for a while. He did not want to plant wheat again until we knew we had a better way to harvest it. So this is another reason why we are behind on our planting, was waiting until we could go and pick this up and make sure that we had a way to harvest. So that's exciting for this year as well. Our little helpers are out here picking up greenbrier root balls for us. We're picking up some more sticks. We got a brush pile going. So this is getting cleaner. It's obviously not quite ready for plastic. It would still tear holes, but we're making some progress. It won't be perfect. It will still have sticks in it this go around, and probably next go around as well. Have you got some root balls?
No.
Good job. Oh, you found a big one. Cool.
Put it in.
Cool. Go put them by the fire. I'll put them in a little bit. So we're getting progress on getting it cleaned up. Normally we still have some sticks and stuff for a few plantings before those all get broken down. This sand out here, things do deteriorate and rot fairly quickly, but we just have to give it a little bit of time. It's kind of tricky to get it completely clean before we plant. Sometimes you have to work harder instead of smarter. Normally we do this with the tractor, but we have a hydraulic issue happening right now that Brandon has to get fixed. So while he works on that, I'm just going to hand spread all this so that it gets done. And this part is at least done even if nothing else happens, and that way when the rain comes, it can kind of help dissolve this fertilizer. That's all we're spreading here is fertilizer. The rain can help dissolve it, and we'll be that much further ahead. Fertilizer is super important to everything that we do out here. We tend to under-fertilize just because of cost. That is one of our biggest frustrations, is that we don't manage to afford to fertilize like we need and want to. Whether you're just growing grass in your lawn or you're growing vegetables, all of those things are taking nutrients out of your soil. So it's important to be putting them back. We occasionally hear people say things like, oh, well, I don't need to fertilize because I'm not doing anything with the grass, or, you know, God didn't fertilize, or things like that. And so there's a lot of misconceptions around fertilizing, but it's incredibly important. And whether you're using like a commercial mixture like we're using, or you're using chicken litter, or whatever it is that you're using, it's important to put something back in. If you think about the way a natural ecosystem works, let's just look at cows, because that's my thing. If you think about cows grazing, or, you know, bison grazing, they're a North American bovine species. If you think about them grazing, what they would do is they would go through and they would graze, and then as it got shorter, they would leave. They would poop as they grazed, and so that's some fertilizer, but then they would leave the area, and that would allow the land to kind of regenerate some that way. We're not working under that same situation anymore. Cows now are confined to one space. They're not allowed to leave, or your hay is cut in the same space, and it's obviously just there all the time. And so it's more important to kind of be putting those nutrients back into the soil, because we've adjusted how the natural system would work. So our vegetables that we grow use a lot of nutrients out of the soil. And we have sand. That's just the lot we were given. We have sand here. We don't even have any clay. It's straight sand. And the microbes in the sand are just kind of working overtime all the time. So anything that we put in, those microbes are like yum, 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 and they just gather it up and they eat it faster than our plants can most of the time. So fertilizer is super important for what we do, but it's important for all areas of agriculture, actually. So I've got almost half out of what we need to put out today. I've gone through one time. I'm going to go back across it the other direction now and try to get a lot out. Like I say, we tend to under-fertilize just because of cost. We understand it's expensive. We get it. But you got to be putting something in if you're taking it out. And like I said, that applies whether it's hay, vegetables, grass in your yard, whatever it is that is growing in a space is using up the nutrients that are there. And so eventually you've got to replace those nutrients. All right, we are not going to get the whole list done today. There's just no way we're fitting it all in, but we are finally disking now. Shout out to Pappy for letting us borrow his tractor, because it turns out the hydraulic issue on my tractor was more than could be fixed in a day. So it's gonna have to go in the shop and get that repaired. But for now, we'll get it disked this way. What we are going to take off our menu for today, we were going to disc this, bed it, plastic mulch, and seeds in. This part is not going to get planted today. We were trying to get all that done before the rain. That's supposed to be here tomorrow. We have changed that plan. We will get this disked and broken up, and we'll continue to remove some sticks and things. And what we will do instead is over where we put out the fertilizer, it's like back behind the chicken pen and all the way over there, we will disc in that fertilizer, and then he'll get out the grain drill and we'll plant wheat over there and get that in before the rain comes.
I'm gonna go back to disking while they're working on that.
While Brandon is running the disc, I'm trying to see if I can get all of these hoses put back on. We normally just leave these on, but they're all getting old and dry rotten, and we can't afford to replace them all right now. So we took them off and put them in the seed box the last time we used it, and that way they were just kind of a little bit more protected from the weather. So I'm just going through and reattaching them all, getting them back ready for when he finishes disking and is ready to run the grain drill again. Need help? Nope, that's on as good as it goes, and then you put the pin in.
Okay.
My pin's good stuff. It's gonna come out right over here. You almost got it. Is your pin goofy too?
Probably.
Okay. Let me turn this off. I think we have had yet another change of plans. The forecast for tomorrow is now saying we may get 1 to 2 inches of rain. And because we have a hill, and it is a hill all the way through, all the way across, we tend to wash pretty bad in heavy rains. So this part through here should be okay. We're not as worried about it because it's a little more level there. And also because we're not ready to plant it yet. This won't get planted today. But it's disked and we're pulling out sticks. But what will change is we're going to no-till drill the wheat. And that's just, that basically means that we're going to go over there to that field. I'll show you in a minute. We'll go over to it and we'll just do it just like it is. So Brandon has a errand to run that's going to take him away from the farm for an hour or two. Hopefully he'll get back before dark. Otherwise we'll be out here with flashlights, I guess, getting this planted. So the area that we fertilized earlier, this was the potato patch this spring. It was attempted to be peas twice or maybe 3 times this summer, and the dumb deer kept eating the peas. So this is where the wheat is going because this is the space we have available right now. So you can see behind me there are still quite a few weeds in it, and it's a little on the crunchy side. It's not super compact, but it is a little on the crunchy side. But the benefit to that is if we do the no-till drill, the grain drill will come through, and it has some basically disc blades. They're not called disc blades, but I can't remember the name right now. Anyways, but they'll slice the ground enough to open it for those seeds, but without disturbing it all the way. And that will keep us from washing if we do get a real gully washer tomorrow. We've already got some significant damage in this field from erosion. And this is also, it's right beside the squash area that washed so bad last spring and just took out so many plants. So we're a little nervous about that. We want to make sure that we don't cause more erosion issues. So I think that'll be a good plan. And what we'll do is once it comes up good, there are chemicals that we can spray that will kill the weeds without killing the wheat. And so once it's up a little bit, we'll spray some of those and we'll get rid of the broadleaf weeds that are in here without damaging our wheat, and that'll work fine. Although there's one spot right here that we'll probably need to treat even before we plant the wheat. We have some Bermuda grass. Sorry, that sun is killer to y'all, I'm sorry. We have some Bermuda grass trying to come up in the middle of the garden patch, and that's got to die because that stuff will take over. So it's got to be sprayed quickly and removed before we plant. So that's the updated plan. Hopefully Brandon will be able to get some video of planting the wheat because he's got an errand and then I've got an errand, so it's all crazy. But that's what's happening right now.
Okay, so Bethany wanted me to give you all a rundown on how our grain drill works. This is our formal, I think it's a Model M grain drill. I believe it's a 40s or 50s model. So how it works is we have these cups like right down here, and then we'll fill the hopper up with wheat seed, as we've got right here. And as we drive, there are, I don't know if we can see it real well, but down inside that hole are little bitty cups kind of thing that spin around, and it pulls the seed in, and then it drops it out into this boot, this hopper, or the chute, sorry, and it goes down and it goes behind. These are opening discs right here. So what they do is they open up the ground and they leave us a little trench, and the seed falls out right there. And then we've got these chains right here on the back that go through and they cover up the seed, and they're all spun off of this drive tire. Both sides of the box has drive tires, and you can see the drive sprocket, and I can use that to set how many pounds per acre that I put out. I've got it set right now at about 60 pounds per acre. So we are fixing to get it all loaded up, and let's get some wheat put out. Okay, so we made it to the field, and what I'm going to do now is I've got these two levers, and that basically puts these discs up and down, as you can see. And when I do that, it'll engage that drive sprocket right over there. So we'll get it kind of picked up, get some tension taken off of it. I don't know if I can do this two-handed. There we go. Gotta do this two-handed here. Got two separate levers I gotta pull. And so then we take it and we put a little bit of downforce on it, and there we go. We're all set. Do this side the same way.
All right, I guess that's about a wrap for today. We didn't get everything done that we had hoped to get done, and we changed plans multiple times, which is pretty much just how things go around here. But we did get a lot done, and we have a plan to get some more done on Friday after the rain comes through tomorrow. So anyways, thank y'all for stopping by the farm today. I hope you enjoyed your visit. Y'all be sure and tell your friends about our YouTube channel, and come back when you can stay longer.